Hi guys, my name is Olivia Tarpey and I'm a fashion designer. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to order a wedding dress. So the first thing is I invite you to come around to my studio where we discuss all of your ideas, be that your ideas for the wedding dress, the fabrics, the colours, the themes for your wedding. Also, it's more of a chance to get to know you as a person. So we talk about, what you do on your weekends, your hobbies. We talk about your fiance, all of these sort of things, so that I really get a chance to get the real you. And then that way we quickly are able to sort of come up with the ideas that you are going to like, rather than sort of designing something and showing you and then you choose from it. It's more of an experience. So the first thing would be that I would ask you a series of questions, such as what part of your body would you most like to emphasize? So it may be your back, it may be your waist, it may be your boobs, it may be your legs. The same question would be as to what part of your body would you most like to sort of hide. So that could be, say, your hips, or it could be your legs, it could be your arms. There's just all sorts. It's just basically your personal answers, really, that matter. So then we go through the styles. So would you prefer it to be strapless? Would you like straps? Is that thin straps, thick straps? Would you like them to be see-through? Do you want them off the shoulder? Do you want sleeves? All sorts. So we start with the upper part, then we slowly go down. So if you're having what style of cut? So do you want it straight across the chest? Would you want it to be a sweetheart, a V-neck? Do you want it to be slightly more daring, so slightly a deeper cut, or you would quite like to be a little bit more modest? Then we get to the waist. So the waist is really quite important, I would say, as to would you want it quite cinched in, or would you prefer it to be puffed out? It just depends. Do you want to have an empire line? Do you want it lower down? So we discuss all of those ideas, and if you're not too sure, you can always just say so, and then we can adjust, and I can explain all of these things through either discussing it with you or showing you, or even having you try something on so that you get a better feel. And I'm more than happy to discuss with you what I believe looks best on you, or you can, if you've come with your mom or maid of honor, you're more than happy to ask them for their opinion. What we want is for you to feel comfortable and look your best. Then we talk about the length. So do you want it all the way down to the floor? Would you like a train? Do you want a cascade layer? Would you like it to be flowy? Do you prefer more of a stiff sort of skirt? So all of those things. So say if you say that you want something more sculptured, then that would suggest that you would want something made out of a raw silk or organza. Whereas if you say, oh, I prefer something more floaty and flowy, that would suggest something like a silk or a chiffon. So there's all sorts of different fabrics that we can use. So the silks, the satins, the crepe de chines, those are more floaty, whereas the netting, which is the tulle, the silk, the raw silk, the crepe de chine, those are slightly more stiff. So it just depends what you would prefer as a final look. After this point, I would then create a sketch for you, so that you have a better idea, and I'm happy to explain all the little bits. So we do a front and a back, and if you want to change anything, I can amend that, and that's it. So we create this final design. During the stages, obviously, during your fittings, you are more than happy to sort of alter it and tweak it, because at this stage we're mainly trying to get the general idea. And during these questions, I will also ask you about your embellishment. So that was the more of the shape and style. Then it's about the finishing. So would you be wanting lace, embroidery, beading, pearls, crystals? Would you like fabric flowers? Do you want something to be hand painted? There's all sorts of different outcomes here. So it's more of mixing and matching what it is that you like and what I can offer you, which is something that's completely bespoke and made specifically for you. So during this first meeting, that's where we discuss the fabrics, we draw up the sketch, and we also discuss the budget, which for a lot of brides that is a really big issue. But with us, I'm more than happy to discuss different budgets. Usually our dresses start at 1,000. The normal average, I would say, is about 5,000. We do go higher than that. It just depends what it is that you want. Then our first fitting would then be arranged according to when you are available to come in. So we would have taken your measurements during your first fitting so that we can arrange to do a toile for you. We would then ask you to come in, and we'd have a toile, and it wouldn't be in the silk. This would be in a cotton or in a muslin, something that would be representing the same fabric as the dress, but we won't be using the beautiful silks for this stage. We will then be pinning it on you. So say if we're starting with a corset or even a backless gown, we will be needing to pin you in. We will be doing some markers onto the fabric, just making sure that the fit is just perfect on you. So at this stage, it's very quiet. It's quite raw. So it may be a bit of a scary stage because you want to come in and sort of see a finished dress, but this is just the first stage, and it's the building foundation of the rest of the dress. So this is a really, really crucial part of the process. During this stage, we will also be talking about the fabrics and the way the fabric will flow and how it will, the fit. Because at this stage, some brides aren't quite sure what specific color they want, because there's such a huge range. So we will be discussing that throughout. And in between these meetings, you are more than welcome to give me a call, and I can send you some samples so that throughout the time you can have a choice and you know what's happening, so you're updated with the process of the dress. After this first fitting, we then have our second fitting. So because we know that, say, we've got the first part complete, we will then do a sort of finished toile, as it were. So if, say, you had a corset and a skirt, during the first fitting we would be more focused on the corset, and then the next one would be on the skirt and the corset. We do, the main thing here is that the more fittings we have, it's not necessarily that we need to have 5 fittings or 3 fittings or 2 fittings. Some dresses require very few fittings, others require quite a lot. So it just is all about getting it right for you. So we will tailor ourselves around your needs and the design of the dress. So we would then come up with the final design. It would be all perfect. You're happy with the fit and the look, and at this point we would then have finalized the fabrics that we will be using for your wedding dress. So at this stage I would have ordered, I would have ordered the fabrics so that I could cut them out and then sew them up and invite you once more for another fitting. During this time, depending if say with the backless or more draped gowns, we may need a couple of fittings there to ensure where the folds are going to be, or if it's if flowers are being draped, I would ask you to come in so that you could see exactly where you wanted them to be placed. So again, it just really makes sure that you're happy with the entire process. And then we would then sew up the dress, and then you would just come in and pick it up, or we could have it delivered to you. I hope this makes things a little bit more clear as the wedding dress. So that when you're thinking about ordering a dress from us, it's not just ordered online or anything like that. It's we do collections, but the main thing here with the wedding dresses is that we want something that's bespoke, it's made to order, and it's made to your body and to your style and needs. Thanks so much for watching, and do let us know what you think. Thanks, bye.